Hi, my name's Peter and I'm the teacher at My English. I'm going to talk to you about the methodology that I use when I'm teaching students like you. First of all, I base my lessons on your needs and interests, and it doesn't matter what your needs and interests are. For example, if you want help with general English and conversational English, then that is no problem. I have experience of teaching students at different ages and all different levels. Also, if you need help with business English, legal English, or any kind of specific English for your work, then that is also no problem, and I've had experience teaching all these different areas. Also, if you need help preparing for an exam, such as a mature exam, FCE exam, or university oral exams, then that's also no problem. I've had experience teaching lots of different kinds of exams, including the mature FCE, CPE, TOEFL, IELTS, and university oral exams. Now you probably want help developing specific skills, so I'm going to show you what kind of skills I can help you develop in lessons with me. Now probably you'll want to develop your speaking and listening skills, and if this is your main focus, then we will spend most of the lesson helping you to improve these skills and helping to increase your confidence in these areas. Also, if you need help with writing skills, particularly if you're studying for exams like Matura or FCE, and you need to learn how to write a review or a story or an essay, then I can also help you with that, and I have lots of experience doing that. And that involves giving you lots of feedback on your writing skills so that you can improve yourself. And obviously if you're doing an exam, you need help to answer specific questions, particularly on mature exams or FCE exams, and I can also give you hints and advice on how to do that. Now, as I said before, I always try to base the lessons on your interests, so it's worth showing you how exactly I do that. Now what I do is I give you a choice of topics to choose from. So here is an example of a list of topics, and these are based around different subject areas such as travel, people, leisure and entertainment, and they're also specific to different levels. So for example, some topics might be more appropriate for advanced level learners, whereas some topics might be more suitable for lower level learners. And it's also worth saying that these topics are not limited to this list here. You are also free to choose your own topics and bring those ideas to the lessons with you. Another way I base the lessons on your interests is by making it personalised and relevant, so asking you about your experiences and how certain topics are important to you. And also by making it current and up to date, then it makes it more relevant to you in the same way by talking about recent experiences and recent events. Now obviously you probably want to develop your speaking and listening skills more than anything else, so I'm going to show you specifically how I do that. Now first of all, obviously just by being a native English speaker, you get to hear natural pronunciation with natural expressions using normal words and phrases that you would expect to hear a native English speaker say. Also, when I speak with students in the lessons, it's based on real communication, not just boring things from a book or repeating sentences after a teacher. It's based on talking about real things that are important to students, so it's natural and real and authentic. And also by reacting to students' needs, basing the lessons on their speaking problems and their listening problems, not just what a textbook has decided is good for them, but actually listening to them and then reacting accordingly. So it's worth showing you exactly how I do that particular part. So when I'm speaking and listening to you in the lesson, I'm always making notes and listening to the language that you have used, and we can use this language to try and improve on your current level and help you learn to improve your grammar and your vocabulary. So this is an example sentence that we can use, and what I do is I will look with you over your sentences and your language that you've used and see if I can help you to improve it. And in this particular example, we can see that learn is not quite the best word to use here. Revise is a better word when we're talking about repeating material that's already been learnt in the past. But it's worth noting that I don't just focus on your errors, I also make a note of all the good language you use, such as in this example here, to make you feel more positive, that you're not making mistakes all the time, you're also using good language. And I will also write down new words or phrases that you haven't been able to say for yourself that I've given to you, such as in this example, a happy ending. And I've also written the definition down here so that you can remember it and learn it for yourself after the lesson. What I also do with you is to help you, encourage you to learn for yourself, because this is very important, not just to learn during the lesson but outside the lessons as well. So I'm going to show you how I can do that. Now obviously this involves homework, and I give students homework every week. Now obviously this homework can be negotiated. It depends how busy students are and how much they want to do. Now going back to my notes, students can use this as a basis to do some homework. So for example, looking at the sentences, they can try and go back over these sentences and try and learn from their mistakes. What I also do with you is, after the lessons, I will give you some flashcards, and on these flashcards you can write down new words and phrases that you've learnt from the lesson. So on one side you write the word or phrase or collocation, and there is also some space for notes, such as the word form, whether it's formal or informal English. And on the other side you can write a definition in English, you can write an example sentence in English to help put the word into context, and you can also write a translation in Polish if you think this is useful for you. Now I also think it's important for you to read and listen as much as possible outside lessons. Now sometimes you might think that's difficult because articles on the internet or listening to TV programs can be quite difficult, but there is a solution to that. There are books called graded readers, which are written especially for English language learners like you, and they are written at every different level, right from beginner up into intermediate, upper intermediate and advanced levels. And here is an example of some graded readers that you can use. Now these books are usually quite short, so they're very accessible and they don't take long to read. So here is a list of graded readers that I own, and I'm able to lend these books to you, and they also come with CDs, some of them, so you can both read and listen at the same time. And also you might want to listen to some podcasts on the internet. Now podcasts are just radio shows that you can listen to, and I've also found lots of podcasts for you to listen to that are available at different levels. So if you go to my website and look at the link section, you can find some different podcasts, and they are grouped according to level, and these are both ones for English language learners and for native English speakers. What I also do with students like you is to help you learn effectively. and I'll show you how I do that exactly. What I do is I encourage you to record and remember vocabulary in efficient ways so that you will be able to use them more often and better in the future. So for example, here are some different methods of recording vocabulary, and you can think about which ways are better for you or more suitable depending on the type of vocabulary you're trying to remember and learn. And I can also help you to organise your time and notes better so that you make the best of your time when you are learning English. And I also show you how to make the most out of reading and listening material so that you can learn from the material you've used, whether it's graded readers or it's podcasts or other kind of listening material. What's probably most important is that I provide a supportive and encouraging environment. So I'm very positive about learning English, and I don't make you feel bad, especially when you make mistakes. I try to focus on the positives. And as I said when I was talking about the notes that I make, I remind you what you already know and what you can do, and not just tell you about your mistakes all the time. And I be positive about learning English, and I show you different ways you can learn, and I help to try and motivate you so that you can improve more in the future. And also I make it achievable, so I don't make the lessons too difficult for you so that you feel demotivated, but at the same time I don't make it too easy for you so you're learning at the right level for you, and you feel like you are learning and you're not doing things that are not appropriate for your level. And most importantly, I do everything I can to increase your confidence. I know that a lot of students don't feel confident in speaking and listening, and I feel this is the most important. Without confidence, students will find it very difficult to improve their English. So that's what I focus on more than anything else, because I think that's the most important. Okay, so that's a bit about my methodology. I hope it's been useful and informative for you. And if you'd like to know anything more, then you can just email me at the address provided below. Thank you very much.